What's up, everyone? Thanks for checking out my video. This is going to be my Crisis Earth X crossover video. If you haven't watched the first two episodes, there are going to be a lot of spoilers in this, so make sure you check it out before you watch. I know last week there weren't too many videos put up by myself. It was Thanksgiving, spending some time with the family, whatnot. So happy belated Thanksgiving for those of you that celebrate. Not. Hopefully you guys got some good deals on Black Friday and Cyber Monday. So without further ado, we have spoilers and let's kick this video off. Alright, so this video is going to work from beginning to end of the first two episodes. I'm just going to kind of talk each kind of scene as it comes through and whatnot from the show. So, really thought the opening fight scenes were intense. You've got Flash taking on King Shark. Kind of leads to questions of how did he get out or why is he out? Did Argus not inform Flash that he was on essentially a Suicide Squad mission and Flash is out there battling him, not knowing? Arrow dropping Damien Dark as a throwback to season 4. Also, I think it's a setup for Legends of Tomorrow. Somehow it's gonna play into that. We're getting a lot of crossover with each show. You got Supergirl dropping Dominator. That was cool. The whole Kara, That's So Last Year line tied everything together. Last year, obviously, we know the Dominators were the focus of the crossover. So that was a fun little Easter egg to that. You got various tie-ins with each show. You got Monel kind of popping in. The indictment with Oliver going, his son. That whole thing was, Easter egged and obviously Legends of Tomorrow's breaking up Firestorm. And then obviously just the whole Flash, wedding and all of that, just kind of its tie-in. On Earth X, when you've got after the fight scene and whatnot going on with Doppelganger Oliver, they drop a little Star Wars reference, the Rebels. I thought that was pretty cool. They do have a lot of Marvel tie-ins with within the shows. It's cool. It's nice to know that DC is willing to mention their competitors. I think that's really nice, really cool on their part. The CGI could use work. It's not the greatest. It's not film quality. But for a TV show with low budget, it's pretty decent. Obviously, you can tell, but I think they do a really good job with it. You get the musical reference from last season, the Flash and Supergirl crossover, where they have to sing their way out. They reference that, Barry going up to Kara and talking to her about her non-superhero or non-superpower of singing. They also continue on with the Legends of Tomorrow's conflict with Firestorm and breaking them up. And I think they're setting up, I don't know where they're going with it. There are some theories that are out there. Hopefully they're just trying to figure out how to break them up and leave Jax as Legends on the Legends show. I read one theory that they're trying to break him up and possibly bring him over to Earth X as a freedom fighter and stop the Nazis, whatnot. I'm not sure how I feel about that unless they're going to do some kind of spin-off show with it. I don't like the idea. They are definitely pushing the whole Felicity Oliver Olicity thing. I don't think the writers can figure out what they want to do with it. They keep trying to put them together, but then they make such awkward scenes. And there's not a lot of chemistry, I don't feel, between the two of them on screen. I think they work better just as partners, not dating. So hopefully they just kind of end the Olicity thing. Obviously she said no to marrying him. I think there's more behind just the not want. If I remember correctly, for some reason I feel like at one point Felicity was engaged to Ray Palmer or the Atom. Maybe there was some sort of backhanded marriage with that, and so she really can't get married. But I don't really remember for sure, so correct me if I'm wrong. They do the whole bad luck seeing the bride on the wedding day. So that was... I thought that was a nice little foreshadowing. You got Barry waking up to seeing Iris, and as we know, it is bad luck to see the bride on the wedding day. That could be the reason leading to the invasion type of thing. Just a nice little tie-in with that if they decide to pay that one off. The whole Alex and Sarah hookup, that's fun. That's a fun arc going with that. I had a feeling that the two of them were going to hook up. So I think that the way that they're doing it and the whole, post one night scene at the wedding or before the ceremony was fun. Now there was one interesting character person that showed up. The scene with the girl, they didn't really mention the name, the one that was offering Barry some water, and how she was super excited to be there, and this and that. I'm not sure what the payoff's going to be. My working theory is that she is the future daughter of Barry and Iris. Obviously, we know in the comics in Crisis on Infinite Earths, Barry sacrifices himself to the Speed Force, so she grows up without her dad. So this could be a fun Easter egg or montage to that. You know, obviously we know there is some sort of crisis that happens down the line. So maybe she came back because she heard about the wedding and she wanted to see, you know, her father. You know, that whole awkwardness was fun. Kara singing obviously was her superpower. I thought that was fun. The Running Home to You song. I did a little bit of research. Grant Gustin kind of did a cover of it. You know, it's just a great tie-in. You know, Running Home to You. He's the Flash. You know, so he's obviously he's always running. So running back to Iris, and I thought that was a fun little input on the writer's part. Definitely different. Normally you get the Here Comes the Bride song. I think this was cool for the writers to do something a little different. There was a touching moment where Joe goes, "Wish your parents were here," and Barry's response was, "They are." To me, it was just a nice little subtle superhero, I guess, theme where, you know, they always talk about how you have to overcome life's obstacles and pushing forward, and Barry has done that time and time again. So I felt like that was just a nice little touching moment. You know, obviously his dad is technically there as well, so I thought that was just a nice little touching moment. They have a few of those in the show, and it adds a little bit of drama. It adds some nice building of characters and such throughout. Prometheus being back was awesome to see. You know, obviously he was the big bad last year, and just the way that the writers did on Arrow with having him as the big bad last year, they did a really phenomenal job, and I thought it was just a fun little tie-in from last year into this. The wedding fight scene was off the hook. You know, you've got all of them with their powers and whatnot, and they're using them to take on the Nazis. I thought that was fun. They did a really good job with that. You know, they're doing a good job of trying to make sure that everything is balanced. You know, you've got the superheroes, so you got a lot of them, and some of them are overpowered, so I think they're doing a good job of kind of getting rid of it and trying to keep things even. You know, you got Vibe unconscious, you know, gets knocked out at the wedding. You got Wally taking the family away, so taking Joe and his girlfriend and future son/brother to safety. So they're kind of writing these people with power. You know, you got a couple of speedsters. That's a lot of power there. Then you got Supergirl and Killer Frost and all that. You know, so they're doing a good job of trying to keep the playing field even with powers and stuff. Now on to some of the cameos and stuff. I loved the Tommy cameo as Prometheus. You know, last year it was a long time rumor that Prometheus was Tommy. And it was cool to see the writers kind of make that Easter egg and pay it off a little bit. You know, having him back even for that short time was fun. You know, and Tommy playing Oliver, playing the bad guy, and doing a really good job of convincing Oliver and that he could do something. And then just the moment of Oliver having to watch his best friend die again. So that's twice that he has seen Tommy die. Builds character for Oliver and the Green Arrow as a whole. That was cool. That was fun. You know, Kara and Oliver, or Supergirl and Green Arrow, they have a great on-screen chemistry. So that was fun. You know, the scenes that they're together, and I think those two actors just do a really good job working with each other. I love when the chemistry is there and you can see that it's working and you can believe so much more out of them. You know, the touching firestorm scene, you know, obviously Stein wants to break up with Jax with the whole firestorm. That's a huge arc going on Legends of Tomorrow and how they're going to do it. And Stein just kind of being ignorant on what Jax really wants. You know, he thinks that it's just that he wants superpowers and stay with Legends and stay on the Wave Rider. The whole father-son moment was touching and drawing. You know, Jax obviously says that he grew up without his dad, you know, and Stein was the closest thing to him. So I thought that was a fun montage, and they're building that arc even more. And they're doing it really good. I like the way the writers are doing it. You know, you get Flash and Supergirl running to the lab to try to get the prism, and you get the as Deadpool would say, the superhero landing. I thought that was fun. You know, that was the first thing I thought it was, Deadpool and superhero landing. You know, when the Earth X reveal and the doppelgangers of them, you know, they talk about, you know, how Earth One's heroes are have their competence. They've beaten the best of the best. They've done their research, obviously, on the Earth One heroes. And what I think they're going for is just how they are pretty much the most powerful way. The Earth X villains or doppelgangers, you know, they see the weaknesses of what Earth One is. And I think that they're much more powerful because of that. They see their potential and what they could do, and they play into that, and they don't give in to their emotions. The whole Reverse Flash was a great throwback to Season 1. The whole time travel confusing thing, you know, obviously Eobard travels back, and we know he talks about how he is Earth 1's Reverse Flash, so ties everything in together again. It was nice to see that they haven't completely killed him off, and that just proves that the ending of Legends of Tomorrow, Season 3, where with the Death Speedster, he didn't actually kill Eobard Thawne, so that was cool to know that he's still around, so that means they can still use him in various ways. You know, I think that there was a fun little Easter egg tying, you know, Green Arrow very similar to Batman, the Kryptonite Arrow, and his whole line of, just in case there's ever an evil you, he wanted something to protect him. You know, it's very like Batman. You know, he keeps kryptonite on him, you know, just in case Superman ever went bad. So I thought that's a definite Easter egg. That's definitely a tie right to Batman. Obviously, there is a lot of similarities in the way that, especially the way that the show does it, very similar to Batman. So I thought that was a cool little Easter egg. It looked like there could have been a Superman Easter egg when Kara was holding up the beam. It reminded me of Batman vs. Superman, and just in general how Superman just kind of holds things and steady. You know, if you think Batman vs. Superman, if you've seen it, you know, he catches the rocket and stuff. That Supergirl scene looked exactly like it. I wonder if that was an Easter egg. You get the Vigilante Easter egg out of Felicity, because they're trying to track Kara through her radiation, and Felicity goes, you know, I tracked a criminal through a face screen. So last season, she was able to track Vigilante through a broken piece of his face screen. That was a cool little Easter egg to throwback to last season. A lot of throwbacks in this crossover. You know, when the rest of Team Arrow shows up, Mr. Terrific, Wild Dog, and Dinah, that definitely reminded me of like the opening couple episodes of Green Arrow with the initiation and bringing the team together. Obviously fighting Oliver and getting their asses kicked was fun. It reminded me a lot of that. You know, overall, I'm definitely enjoying the episodes. But, you know, they're definitely doing a really good job of setting up and delivering and giving you great content and great stuff to immerse yourself and really just kind of connect with everyone. You know, the music scores that they're using with all these fight scenes and everything in general definitely feels like it completes what's going on, gets you immersed in it. So that is kind of my overview, my reaction, my Easter eggs, all of that summed up into one video for the first two parts. Make sure if you enjoyed the video, you hit that like button, subscribe so you get all my content. Make sure you check out some of my other videos that are up. I've got some Let's Plays and any of my other DC shows and other things that are going on my channel. Make sure you go back and watch some of those. Till next time, guys, geek on.